Do you want to know how to succeed in your studies? Well, you've come to the right place. Hello, it's Nui. Welcome to this first video of Nui's Study Tips series. I would like to start off by saying a huge thank you to each and every one of you who are studying with me. And if you appreciate what I do, please subscribe as it helps me reach even more people. Now, let's get started. Tip number 1, stay somewhat organized. So first of all, I would recommend you to find your own style for planning. Some people like to use apps, but I think you have to be careful not to fall into some procrastination traps. So as long as it works out for you, it's what matters. But I remember trying that app called Notion, and then I was spending like way more time planning things than actually doing them, which is why I call them procrastination traps. I was under the impression that I was working, but I was actually just planning to work and not doing any work. So for me, personally, I think that just simple paper and pen works out perfectly fine. And also, I think it's also really beneficial sometimes to just keep it simple, yet straightforward. Second, I think that something that you should always do, no matter what your study style is or your organization style is to keep your physical or electronic study notes organized. Like, find a way to easily browse through them whenever you need to. What I mean by that is, for example, let's say you're taking notes with pen and papers. You have a notebook about chemistry. You're not going to write your biology notes in your chemistry notebook, right? So the same goes for electronical files. If you're taking notes on your tablet or on your computer, I think that is really essential to organize the files properly. For example, let's say you have a test for chemistry, then you know immediately, oh, it's in my study folder 2023 semester 1 chemistry 101. So you don't have to like look for your file everywhere and stress out thinking that you've lost your notes. And one extra tip that I would add is if you could store everything on the cloud, you don't have to worry then if your computer breaks down or your tablet loses all its memory, gets erased. Everything is safe on the clouds. And usually like a basic Gmail account offers, I think, 15 gigabytes. So you can just use that. It's plenty for study notes. Thirdly, I would highly recommend to try not to do things last minute. Even if I know that some people actually perform better by doing things last minute because of all the stress it gives them to actually finish things on time, I think that for your stress levels, it's actually better to do a little work regularly than just exhaust yourself last minute. And unfortunately, I've been a victim of that. Like for my master's thesis, I actually finished writing it within the last week of submitting it. Being honest with you, I wasn't really proud of finishing my master's thesis like that. But in the end, what matters, I guess, is that I didn't give up until the end. Of course, I was super stressed out, but this is why I'm saying that you should somewhat stay organized, meaning that if you have downtimes like that when you don't feel really right about like studying and stuff, you shouldn't be like too tough on yourself and be more accepting of how you feel. But no matter what, don't give up and keep going right at it. So I think that this tip is like a little bit hypocritical of myself to tell you to not do things last minute, but I guess I have to tell you this. Well, it's just common sense, but maybe you have to experience it for yourself. so that you can actually like learn from your errors. And being a student is also learning about life, in my opinion. But most importantly, it's learning about yourself, learning about how you work on your own, because no one is here to kick your ass if you haven't done your homework. Basically, it's kind of a bridge into adulthood, if I can call it like that. But anyway, if I can give you one little trick that I actually recently learned when I'm feeling like lazy not to start and keep procrastinating, is that I've noticed that if I tell myself, okay, today I'm just gonna work 30 minutes. Like we all know, like, oh, 30 minutes, that's nothing. Well, I might as well just force myself to start. And then sometimes like I just work for 30 minutes and that's fine. I'm happy that I've at least made a little bit of progress. But then sometimes I end up studying even longer because I'm so much into it that I keep going and keep going. And it's also mostly the reason why I'm doing a lot of short Pomodoro studies these days. This is way too much of an effective method, guys. Last but not least is that I recommend you to always keep your physical surroundings clean and tidied up. Because trust me, if you have clutter around you, your brain is going to be cluttered. So always put things back to where they belong after using them. Always keep your clothes clean and folded. Always keep your dishes clean and folded. Not only you'll be happy to live in a clean place, but it will also clear up your mind. Trust me on that. I might be a little bit too organized in my physical area, but I can tell you that it's okay to sometimes like have a little bit of clutter around you, as long as you always tell yourself, okay, every Saturday I'm cleaning up my room. And I can tell you guys that even up to this day, after finishing studying and being an active worker, this is one of the tips that I still apply to my everyday life. So to conclude that first tip of staying somewhat organized, I want to say it's fine, guys, if you're not perfectly disciplined, if you're not perfectly working every day 30 minutes or 1 hour, whatever the goal is. It's fine if you're missing a study day. We're not robots, we're humans, and we sometimes need to just chill and relax. What matters in the end is that you keep going and don't let chaos overwhelm you. This is it for this first video of my study tips series. Let me know in the comments if you found it useful and if you have anything else to add on this topic. I'm always super happy to read your comments. And if you want to see more study tips and more study with me videos, I would be truly grateful if you could like and subscribe. See you around!